Anukica, where are you now?
Right now, I'm at my parents' house. Huh? Didn't I mention it before? Since Chris is on a business trip, my daughter and I have been staying at my parents' place.
That makes sense. It must be tough, though, managing work and going back to your parents' house.
Actually, it's not too bad. My workplace is close to their house, so it's more convenient this way. By the way, why do you ask?
Oh, so you haven't heard anything yet?
Heard about what?
Well, you see, yesterday I dropped by your new house.
Huh? My new house?
That's right. And, well, we had a barbecue at your place, and, it ended up catching fire. The whole house burned down.
What? What do you mean, barbecue?
So, you know, a few of us were chatting and someone said, wouldn't it be nice to have a barbecue? I remembered you mentioned building a new house, so I thought it'd be a perfect spot.
Wait, are you saying...
Well, we did the barbecue indoors and, there was a bit of a mishap with the fire. Before we knew it, the house went up in flames. It looked like a giant campfire.
Stop joking around! Are you saying you entered my house without permission?
Of course. I mean, we're family. Isn't that natural?
Natural? Don't you have any sense? Who in their right mind would think it's okay to have a barbecue indoors?
Anyway, I figured the news might reach you soon, so I thought I'd let you know. Sorry about ruining your celebration over the new house, but hey, we're family, so forgive me, okay?
There's no way I can forgive you. Do you have any idea how hard Chris and I worked to save up and build that house?
Oh, come on. People can always start over. You can just build another one.
It's not that simple. Do you know how much planning went into that house? We worked with architects from scratch.
Well, I wouldn't know about that, but the house is gone now, so there's no point whining about it.
What you've done is a crime. Do you realize that?
A crime? Are you calling a family member a criminal? Need I remind you that I supported your marriage to Chris? A little gratitude would be nice.
I never asked for your permission. Chris and I got married because we love each other. Stop acting like you're owed something.
Oh, whatever. I'm tired of your lectures. Anyway, that's all I needed to tell you.
Wait a second. Shouldn't you at least apologize?
Why would I apologize? That house was technically Chris's, right? As his sister, I had every right to use it however I wanted. It's just bad luck that it burned down. Accept it and move on.
You've got to be kidding me!
Well, good luck building a new house. When it's done, let me know, okay?
Hey, wait! Chris, are you free to talk right now?
Huh? What's going on?
You're coming back from your trip the day after tomorrow, right?
Yeah, around then. What's up?
Well, our new house. It's gone. It burned down.
What? What are you talking about?
Maggie just texted and told me.
Wait, are you okay? Is our daughter okay?
Yeah, we're fine. We've been staying at my parents' house, so we weren't near the house at all.
Then how on earth did it catch fire?
Apparently, it was your sister's fault.
What? What do you mean?
She said she went to our house with her friends to have a barbecue. While they were there, the fire got out of control and the house burned down.
You've gotta be kidding me! What was she thinking? Does she not realize what kind of trouble she's brought on herself?
I doubt she realizes it. She was laughing when she told me.
Unbelievable! I don't even know what to say! I wanted to think Maggie had a good heart, but...
I know. I felt the same way.
But why would she do something like this?
It might have something to do with how things went when we got married. Remember how your dad wasn't too thrilled about me?
Yeah, I remember that.
Back then, Maggie was the one who helped smooth things over. She convinced your dad to give me a chance, and thanks to her, I was able to build a good relationship with your family. I've always been so grateful to her, almost like she's my real sister.
Yeah, Maggie used to seem so kind and dependable, but after her divorce, it's like she's become a completely different person.
I know. I can't imagine how hard it's been for her, but this is just too much.
Do you think the police have been notified yet?
Probably. I haven't gotten any calls about it, but someone must have reported it by now.
No calls yet?
Yeah, nothing so far.
So what are we gonna do?
I've got a plan in mind. Can I run it by you?
Of course, I'm listening.
Maggie, can I ask you something to clarify?
Oh, what is it?
You're saying you started a fire while barbecuing, right?
Yes, that's right.
Doesn't that mean you deliberately set fire to our house?
Excuse me? Are you accusing me of arson? I can't believe this. Are you some kind of psychopath?
You're one to talk after hosting a barbecue at someone else's house without permission. Please, I'm asking you to answer honestly.
Of course I didn't do it on purpose. Nobody deliberately starts a fire because of careless handling. Though, I'll admit, I did think it might be fun to leave your house filled with trash and ashes.
So it really was intentional. You decided to hold a barbecue at our place just to harass us, didn't you?
Us? No, just you.
Why? Did I do something to upset you?
Of course you did. You had the nerve to brag about building a new house to me.
Brag? That was never my intention. I was just sharing an update.
Don't lie to me. It was obvious you were mocking me for being divorced.
I would never do that. I still consider you family. No matter what happens, I would never look down on you.
Huh. Well, whatever. It doesn't really matter to me anymore.
Are you satisfied now, after burning down the home Chris and I built?
That wasn't really the plan, but, well, I suppose it worked out nicely in the end.
I see. I understand your feelings now.
Good. Then that's the end of it.
Yes, I've made up my mind now.
So, what's going to happen to that house? Will the insurance pay out? Are you planning to buy a new one?
That depends on how things unfold. I can't say for sure right now.
But you're planning to move out of your apartment soon, right?
Yes, the landlord and I have discussed it.
Then you'd better hurry up and build a new house.
Please don't make it sound so simple.
By the way, when your new house is finished, let me know. I'll bring some friends over for another barbecue.
Why would I ever tell you after what happened?
Oh, don't be so cold.
Are you serious? Coming from the person who started the fire? Even if we build a new house, I'm never telling you where it is.
Well, that's fine by me. Seeing a house burn up close was more unpleasant than I expected. The smell is awful. I wouldn't want to experience that again.
That makes two of us. Maggie, I've just arrived at the new house.
Oh, and? What do you think of your charred, blackened home?
Actually, nothing seems wrong with it.
What? What are you talking about? Oh, I see. You're in denial. I got it. It must be hard to accept, having a brand new home burned down right after it was finished. It's not easy to come to terms with. But there's no point in escaping reality. You need to face it sooner rather than later.
That's exactly why I've been feeling like this conversation wasn't adding up.
What do you mean?
The new house isn't scheduled to be completed for another 3 months.
What? No, it's already done. It should be finished by now.
No, it's 3 months away. Right now, it's still just the framework. I thought maybe that's what burned down.
Wait, then that house?
The house that caught fire belongs to someone else. I checked immediately, and it turns out there was a fire nearby. The police are currently investigating. Thankfully, the residents weren't home, so no one was hurt, but it caused quite a commotion.
No, that can't be true. It's impossible.
Think about it. If our house had burned down, the first people to be contacted would have been me or Chris, the owners. But instead, we found out from you. That's when I started to suspect something was off.
That's true.
Maggie, you need to come here immediately. We should go to the police.
The police? Are you trying to turn me in?
When someone does something wrong, it's only natural to report it to the authorities.
This is ridiculous. Everything about this is too convenient. Are you telling me I burned down someone else's house? This is all a setup, isn't it? You're framing me.
What are you talking about? You're the one who decided to have a barbecue. You're the one who used someone else's house.
Shut up! This is a trap! I'll tell Chris everything!
You've always been so paranoid.
No, it's all your fault! Everything that's happening to me is because of you!
Please stop throwing a tantrum like a child.
If you had told me when the house would actually be finished, this never would have happened! You're responsible, so you'd better take care of me now.
Absolutely not.
Ha, fine. Chris will understand me. He'll protect me. And if Chris says he'll protect me, you'll have to follow his orders.
Well, if Chris says so, then I'll follow along. Though I doubt that will ever happen.
Ha! You'll see. If I tell Chris that this is partially your fault, he'll have no choice but to support me.
Please don't drag me into your mess.
Quiet! I'm calling Chris right now. Chris, listen to me. This is serious. I think I accidentally burned down someone else's house because of the barbecue I held.
What? Are you joking right now? What in the world were you thinking? And wait a minute, didn't you break into our property to even set up that barbecue in the first place? Explain yourself. What's going on here? What exactly did you do this time?
No. It's not what it sounds like. I didn't do anything wrong, I swear. This whole situation, it's a setup. Someone's framing me for this mess.
A setup? Really? That's your excuse? Do you even hear yourself right now? You're telling me you somehow accidentally burned someone's house down, but it's not your fault? This better be good. Go ahead, explain how this so-called setup happened.
Okay, listen to me carefully. It's all Anukica's fault. She's the one who orchestrated everything.
Anukica? What are you even talking about? You're blaming Anukica now?
Yes. You see, she's the one who invited me to this barbecue in the first place. She told me about this great spot to gather everyone and have a cookout. She said she'd provide everything. Location, food, you name it. All I had to do was show up.
So you're telling me Anukica planned a barbecue and you somehow ended up burning down a house? How does that even make sense?
I'm not done explaining yet. So listen, on the day of the barbecue, Anukica suddenly called me and said she couldn't come. She claimed she had an emergency or something. But she insisted that I go ahead with the plan without her, saying everything was already set up. So we went to the spot she recommended, started grilling, and then the fire happened. It was all her idea. She's the one who tricked me into this mess.
So let me get this straight. You're claiming that Anukica planned a barbecue, deliberately skipped it, and somehow expected you to accidentally set a house on fire? Do you even hear how ridiculous that sounds? You're grasping at straws here.
I'm not. You have to believe me. She's been out to get me for ages. She's always been jealous of me, always treating me like I'm beneath her. She probably thought this was the perfect opportunity to ruin me. If I end up getting arrested because of this, I'll make sure everyone knows the truth about her. That's why I'm begging you. Please, Chris, don't say anything about what happened. Just keep quiet about all of this.
Unbelievable. You're seriously asking me to cover for you after everything you've done?
Yes, I'm begging you. If this gets out, my life is over. I'll be humiliated.
Your life is over? Maggie, you brought this on yourself. You can't just waltz in here, claim you've been framed, and expect me to clean up your mess. I'm done with you. I've had enough of your nonsense.
Wait, Chris, don't say that. You're my brother. We're family.
Family? Don't make me laugh. You've done nothing but cause problems for me and everyone else around you. We're not family anymore, Maggie. Consider this the end of the line.
You don't mean that, do you?
I mean every word. I'm cutting ties with you. Don't ever contact me again.
Chris says he's done with me. He's cutting me off completely.
Oh, is that so? What on earth did you say to him this time? For Chris to be that angry, you must have really outdone yourself.
Why does it even matter anymore? If Chris is cutting ties with me, that means you and I are done too, right?
That's correct. If Chris doesn't want anything to do with you, then I won't either.
Don't act so innocent. You're just as much to blame for this. You've been working behind the scenes to turn him against me.
I haven't done anything. You've managed to dig your own grave just fine without my help. You've only got yourself to blame for the position you're in now.
Whatever. There's no point in trying to reason with you.
If that's how you feel, then so be it. But let me give you one last piece of advice. Turn yourself in, Maggie. It's the only way to salvage what little dignity you have left.
Turn myself in? Are you out of your mind? Why would I do that? This whole thing was an accident. I didn't intentionally start the fire. Why should I have to turn myself in for something that wasn't even my fault?
Maggie, you set someone's house on fire. Whether it was intentional or not, it's still a serious crime. You can't just sweep this under the rug and hope it goes away. If you don't take responsibility for your actions, the consequences will only get worse.
No, you're wrong. I've heard about cases like this before. If it's an accidental fire, you're not legally required to compensate the victims. A friend of mine had a small fire in their apartment once, and they didn't have to pay anything.
That might be true for minor accidents, but this situation is entirely different. This wasn't just a small fire, it was gross negligence on your part. That changes everything.
Gross negligence? What does that even mean?
It means you were so careless that the fire was practically inevitable. The law doesn't let people off the hook for something like that. You're going to be held accountable, whether you like it or not.
But I've never worked a day in my life. How am I supposed to pay for something like this?
That's not anyone else's problem. You're an adult, Maggie. It's time to face the consequences of your actions.
But what if no one finds out it was me? If I can keep this a secret, I won't have to deal with any of this, right?
A secret? Maggie, the truth is already out. Chris knows. I know. The victims will find out sooner or later. There's no escaping this.
But if I'm careful, I can avoid getting caught, can't I? As long as no one can prove it was me, I'll be fine.
That's a terrible plan. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life looking over your shoulder, wondering when the truth will catch up to you? Just do the right thing and turn yourself in. It's the only way to put this behind you.
No way! I'm not going to the police. If I get arrested, my life will be ruined. Please, you have to help me. We're family, aren't we? Families are supposed to stick together.
We've already established that we're not family anymore.
Please, don't be like this. I'm begging you.
Maggie, I've already made my decision. I'm not getting involved in this mess. If you refuse to take responsibility, then you're on your own. But let me warn you, there are other people who might not be as forgiving as I am.
What do you mean by that?
I mean the people whose house you burned down. They're not the type to just sit back and let this slide. From what I've heard, they're actively looking for whoever caused the fire, and they're not planning to go through the police.
What? Why not?
Because they want revenge.
Revenge? Are you serious?
Dead serious. So, if I were you, I'd think very carefully about my next move. Turning yourself in to the police might be the only way to avoid something much worse. So please, I'm begging you, turn yourself in to the police.
No, I can't go to the police. If I get arrested, my life will be over. Please, help me. We're family, right? Isn't it normal to help each other?
Like I said, we're not family anymore.
Please don't be so cold.
Maggie, go to the police. Don't tell me you'd rather face someone else's revenge than deal with an arrest.
Of course not. But still, I can't go to the police.
Even if you get arrested, you'll be fine.
What? How can you say that?
You're the one who always said life is full of second chances. So, take responsibility for what you've done and start over from scratch. Oh, wait, I misspoke. You've already been disowned by me, Chris, and even your own parents. So really, it's a fresh start from zero. I don't care what happens to you, but make your decision quickly, before you regret it.
What happened with Maggie?
Looks like she turned herself in. I guess the threat worked.
I see. Still, it's unsettling to know there are dangerous people living near the house we're building.
Actually, the police looked into that house because of the fire. Turns out, the owner and their associates are being arrested too. So, no need to worry.
What? Really?
Yep. Ironically, Maggie ended up doing something helpful after all.
I guess so, but I don't feel like thanking her at all.
Same here. Well, at least we don't have to worry about anything for our new life. Maggie's life had always been rooted in routine. Her days were filled with the quiet hum of domesticity, spent managing the home, raising her children, and supporting her husband, Robert, in his career. It was a simple life, one she had come to appreciate for its stability and predictability. But that stability was shattered one night, when a moment of frustration and anger led her to make a decision that would change the course of her life forever. In a fit of emotion, Maggie set fire to her own house. The fire destroyed not just the property, but also any sense of security and comfort she had known. The decision to set the fire was an impulsive one, fueled by a complex mix of personal frustrations. an inability to cope with her emotions, and a sense of hopelessness that had been building for years. Maggie had always been a quiet, reserved woman, and when the pressure of her responsibilities and her unmet desires finally boiled over, the fire seemed to offer a release. But it was a release with consequences that she could never have anticipated. The fire caused significant damage to the house and to the lives of those involved. When the authorities discovered that it had been set intentionally, Maggie's confession was swift. It was a moment of deep regret, but she knew that there was no way to undo what she had done. The weight of her actions began to sink in as she faced the legal system, knowing that the consequences would be severe. The court proceedings were a blur of legal terms and courtroom procedures, but the outcome was clear. Maggie had to pay for her actions. The court handed down a suspended sentence, sparing her from a prison sentence, but imposing heavy financial and emotional penalties that would shape the rest of her life. At first, Maggie allowed herself a small measure of relief when she learned that she wouldn't be going to jail. She could breathe again, though only for a moment. The suspended sentence, while sparing her the immediate physical punishment of incarceration, didn't spare her from the emotional and financial aftermath that would follow. In many ways, the real punishment was just beginning. As part of her sentence, the court ordered her to pay $500,000 in compensation for the damages caused by the fire. The figure was staggering. She had no savings, no assets, and no means by which to pay such an enormous amount. The order left her feeling hopeless, with no way to even begin to address the debt that now hung over her like a dark cloud. Maggie's life, once secure in its comfortable domesticity, had suddenly become a nightmare. She had always been a full-time housewife, responsible for managing the home and raising her children. She had never worked outside the house, and her husband, Robert, was the sole provider. Their lives were modest but secure, and Maggie had always trusted that they would be able to weather any storms together. However, in the wake of the fire, everything changed. The reality of the financial burden placed upon her by the court was overwhelming. She could not fathom how she would ever be able to repay the debt. It was simply too much. The shock of the compensation order was compounded by Maggie's lack of preparation for such an event. She had never worked a day in her life outside of the home, and now she was faced with the impossible task of figuring out how to survive in a world that had no place for someone like her. She had no formal education, no work experience, and no skills that would make her employable in a competitive job market. The prospect of paying off the debt seemed insurmountable, and Maggie found herself sinking deeper into despair with each passing day. In the weeks that followed the trial, Maggie's sense of hopelessness deepened. She knew that the only way forward was to find work, but that seemed like an insurmountable challenge. She began applying for jobs in every field she could think of, hoping for a break. But her lack of experience and skills made it difficult for her to even get an interview. She was rejected time and again, and each rejection only served to reinforce her feelings of worthlessness. It wasn't until a friend of hers mentioned a local retail store that she began to consider jobs in the service industry. It was the only option available to her, though it felt humiliating. She had never envisioned herself working in retail, let alone in a low-paying part-time job. But desperate times called for desperate measures, and Maggie had no choice but to take whatever she could get. She was hired as a cashier at a small local store. The work was physically demanding and emotionally draining. She had to stand for long hours, deal with difficult customers, and manage a multitude of tasks with little training or support. But the pay, though meager, was enough to help her keep up with the mounting bills and the ever-growing debt. Maggie soon realized that one part-time job wouldn't be enough to cover the cost of the $500,000 debt. She took on a second job, working nights at a local restaurant. The hours were long, the work grueling, and the pay insufficient. But still, she pressed on. She had no choice. Every day was a blur of exhaustion as she moved from one job to the next, each shift more draining than the last. Her body began to show the strain of the relentless schedule. She lost weight, became pale, and her once vibrant energy faded away. But still, she kept going, driven by the need to pay off the debt that had taken over her life. Despite her best efforts, the money she earned seemed to make little difference in her financial situation. The debt was so large, and the payments were so frequent that she felt as though she were treading water in a sea of bills and financial obligations. Her physical and emotional health began to deteriorate as well. She had never felt so tired in her life. The stress of managing her jobs, paying off the debt, and trying to hold her family together was taking its toll. Her marriage to Robert began to fray. He too was struggling with the aftermath of the fire and the impact it had on their family. The financial strain, combined with the emotional toll, led to an increasing distance between them. Maggie found herself alone, even though she was living with her husband. Their relationship had once been a source of comfort, but now it felt strained, distant, and cold. As the months wore on, Maggie's physical health continued to decline. She was exhausted all the time, and her body was showing the signs of years of overwork and neglect. She began to suffer from headaches, dizziness, and nausea, but she ignored the symptoms. She didn't have time to be sick. Her focus was entirely on the debt, and she continued to push herself harder, working more hours, taking on more responsibilities, and neglecting her own well-being. But the stress of her situation eventually became too much to bear. One evening, after a particularly difficult day at work, Maggie found herself reaching for a bottle of wine. It wasn't the first time. In fact, she had started drinking more regularly as a way to cope with the crushing weight of her circumstances. What started as a small glass to unwind at the end of the day soon escalated into a nightly routine. The alcohol provided a temporary escape from the pain of her reality, and Maggie clung to it, despite knowing that it wasn't a solution. Her drinking became more frequent, and soon she was unable to go a day without alcohol. She used it to numb the anxiety and the fear that gripped her every waking moment. But the consequences of her drinking were severe. Maggie began to lose control of her physical health, and the signs of liver damage became apparent. She felt fatigued all the time, her skin took on a yellowish hue, and her stomach was constantly upset. But despite the warnings her body was sending her, Maggie continued to drink. It was her only way of coping with the emotional and physical toll of her life. Maggie's condition worsened as her drinking continued. Her liver function deteriorated, and she began to experience more severe symptoms. She was hospitalized twice due to complications from her alcohol use. But even then, she didn't stop. She continued to drink, unable to break free from the cycle of despair that had enveloped her. And yet, through it all, she still held onto a sliver of hope that one day the debt would be paid off, that her health would improve, and that she might find a way to rebuild her life. Her relationship with her husband, once full of love and support, had withered away, leaving only a hollow shell of what it had once been. They barely spoke, and when they did, it was always about the debt, the house, or the fire. The emotional intimacy they had once shared seemed like a distant memory, a casualty of the financial and emotional fallout from the fire. Maggie's life had become a never-ending struggle. The consequences of her actions had shaped every aspect of her existence, leaving her feeling trapped in a world of debt, regret, and isolation. Despite the physical and emotional toll, she continued to press on, clinging to the faint hope that someday, somehow, things might get better. But for now, the fire that had once consumed her house had also consumed her life, leaving her to pick up the pieces of a future that seemed more and more impossible to rebuild. On the other hand, I have successfully moved into my new home, and my life with Chris and our daughter is now filled with a sense of peace and fulfillment. After months of planning, discussions, and hard work, we have finally settled into a place that truly feels like home. The journey to get here wasn't easy, but every obstacle we faced along the way has made this moment even more special and meaningful. It is hard to believe that we are now living in a space that we can call our own, a place where we can start fresh and build the life we've always dreamed of. The process of finding and purchasing the new house was not a simple one. It took time to search for the right location, to consider what would work best for our family, and to find a place that not only met our practical needs, but also felt like the perfect space to nurture our dreams and hopes for the future. There were many discussions between Chris and me, as we both had our own visions of what we wanted in a home. We considered everything from the number of rooms to the layout of the kitchen, and we debated over small details, like the type of flooring and the paint colors that would bring warmth and comfort to the space. The decision-making process wasn't always easy, but we worked through it together, always keeping in mind what would make us happiest in the long run. Once we found the house, the real work began. We had to go through all the paperwork, inspections, and logistics involved in closing the deal. There were moments when it felt like the process would never end, and we had to navigate all the unexpected hurdles that come with buying a home. But with each step, we got closer to our goal. And finally, after what seemed like an eternity, we were handed the keys to our new house. There was an overwhelming sense of relief and excitement as we stepped inside for the first time. It was a place that we could finally call our own, a space where we could create the kind of family life we had always dreamed about. Now that we are settled in, I can't help but feel a deep sense of gratitude for everything that led us to this point. I am so thankful for the support of Chris, who has been my partner in every sense of the word. His dedication, patience, and hard work throughout this process have been nothing short of remarkable. I could never have imagined going through this experience without him by my side. He has been my rock, always there to offer encouragement, to solve problems, and to make sure that we stay focused on what truly matters. He shares my excitement about the new home and the possibilities that lie ahead, and I know that with him, anything is possible. Our daughter, too, has been an important part of this journey. As a family, we've gone through so much together, and I know that this new chapter in our lives will be one that she will remember fondly as she grows older. I see her eyes light up every time we talk about the house, and I know that she is just as excited as we are to begin this new chapter. For her, this home represents more than just a physical space. It's a place where she will continue to grow, learn, and experience life with the love and support of her family. Every day, she adds a new layer of joy to our home, whether it's through her laughter, her curiosity, or the little moments that make our family feel complete. She is truly the heart of this home, and I look forward to watching her flourish in this new environment. The house itself has become a symbol of our hopes for the future. It is a space where we can create lasting memories, where we can celebrate the milestones of our lives, and where we can find comfort and peace after a long day. I often think about all the special moments that will take place here. Family dinners, holiday celebrations, quiet afternoons spent in each other's company, and all the little rituals that make a family feel like a home. We've already begun filling the house with our unique traditions and routines, and I'm excited to see how these will evolve over time. Every room in the house holds promise and potential. The living room, with its large windows that let in the sunlight, has already become a place for us to relax together, to unwind after a busy day, and to share stories about our lives. The kitchen, with its spacious counters and modern appliances, has become a place of creativity and connection as we prepare meals together and bond over the shared experience of cooking. The bedrooms, each one cozy and inviting, are spaces where we rest, dream, and find solace. Each room feels like a reflection of our personalities and the love we share as a family. It is amazing how quickly the house has transformed from a mere structure into a true home, filled with warmth, laughter, and the presence of the people who matter most to us. There were also certain moments that stand out to me, moments that I know will become cherished memories for years to come. The first time we all sat down together for a meal in the new dining room was one of those moments. The table was filled with food, and as we looked around at each other, there was a sense of
Hi, Shelly. It's been far too long. Have you been doing all right for yourself?
Huh? I'm sorry, but who am I speaking to right now? It appears that I never saved your phone number if I do happen to know you, so I apologize. Are you someone that I'm related to through work?
Not at all. It's me. It's your mom.
What? Mom, did you end up changing your number?
What are you talking about, Shelly? I don't think I even had a phone back in the day, so I never even had a phone number. It really has been a long time since the last time we saw one another, right? 20 years ago or something close to that.
Huh?
By this point, you should be turning 30 here soon, or are already 30, right?
No, actually, I'm only 25 years old. Wait, are you the one from over 20 years ago that left me and Dad?
Left you? That's not something you should be saying about someone doing to anyone, okay? I never meant to leave you guys back then anyway. I had a lot of problems causing me trouble back in those days, and that's why I had to leave the house for a while.
Are you sure? Are you really Brenda?
What is up with you, Shelly? Why would you call your own mother by her first name like that? You can call me Mom, just like you called me all those years ago.
No, wait a second. What? Why would I ever call you my mom now? From what I remember and from what I've been told, you left Dad and I 20 years ago because you had a massive amount of debt, and you left Dad with it all to pay it off. You think I'd call someone that did that to my dad Mom? Why the heck are you even talking to me now anyway? You haven't even contacted me whatsoever for the past 2 decades, so why now of all times have you decided to come out of hiding? And before you answer that, tell me how the heck you even found my phone number in the first place?
Well, I came back to town and asked one of your old-time friends about you and how to contact you. And they even told me that you're married right now as well. Oh, congratulations! I'm so proud of you, Shelly. And I feel so proud to have a daughter like you.
Ah. So that's what this is all about then. So that's the reason why after 20-odd years you're coming back out and trying to get in touch with me again. I'm sure you heard all about the man I married, right?
Well, to be honest, anyone would want to get back in touch with their daughter, having heard that she got married to a CEO. Really, I need to make sure that I hold on to you more closely now. Thank God I have someone like you around for me still.
Why are you acting like I'd even want anything to do with you now? How does me getting married to my husband have anything to do with you coming back to me? I'm so thrilled to see that you're happy to be in touch with me, but that feeling is not mutual. So please leave me alone forever now.
What are you talking about, Shelly? How's about you and I start living together?
Excuse me?
I'm sure you really are thrilled to finally be hearing from your mom after 20 years, right? And for the past 20 years, I've really been begging to see you again. But I never had the chance to go out and see what kind of beautiful woman you were turning into until recently. I'm sure the reason you landed a successful man like that is because you were raised by a hottie like me and have turned out as my twin. I'm sure if you looked like your dad, you'd be a total train wreck right about now.
Stop that! Don't you dare say anything more about my dad in that way. It's because of you and your selfish behavior that Dad was forced to have to pay off so much of your debt. And I'm sure you never even thought about that back then.
And let me tell you this, Shelly, he wasn't the only one that had to go through a lot of hardships like that. I myself had a lot of problems that caused me all sorts of headaches, so stop acting like he was the only one. But listen, back then I was young and I had no other choice than to leave the house for a while. And now that I'm getting close to being in my 50s, it's time for me to settle back down and be with my family again. And that's why you should be fine with me coming to live with you, right?
No freaking thank you.
Why not? I'm asking you in the most politest way I know how.
This isn't about the way you're asking me or anything like that. I just don't want you back in my life. I don't even think of you as my family, so there's no way you're coming to live in my house. And if you continue to beg me to let you come, saying that you want to see me so badly, I'm going to block you.
Is it really necessary for you to be so cold to your own mother? And what is this about you not thinking of me as your mother anymore?
That means that you're not my mom. And you never ever will be. I'm not even sure why you decided it was a good idea to contact me like this without at least thinking about how I'd respond to you first. But you're seriously getting on my nerves.
Are you kidding me, Shelly? I finally came around to gathering the confidence to contact you after so many long and hard years, and this is how you're going to act? Well, if this is really how you're going to treat me, then maybe I was better off never contacting you.
You're exactly right. You should have never bothered. And what's this about needing confidence anyway? Were you afraid I'd be upset with you? Because you were right to be afraid of that outcome.
No, it's just that the only reason I haven't been speaking to you at all for so long is because I never had the confidence to reach back out to you. But you have to trust me when I say that this whole time I've been thinking about you. And this time I finally thought, after sending you the first message, that this would be my chance to meet you again. Why are you giving me the cold shoulder, Shelly? You're supposed to be my daughter.
Do you think by telling me something like that about yourself, you're going to get me to feel moved by it?
What is wrong with you? You are seriously being way too rude to your own mother.
Are you sure that I'm the one being rude to you? I wasn't the one that left her 5-year-old daughter and husband while in major debt and never coming back even after a decade had passed. Now, you can stop trying to talk with me. I'm totally okay with you just leaving me alone now.
I want the two of us to become family again and rekindle what we had so long ago.
Rekindle what we had? You do realize we aren't a couple or anything, right?
When I tried getting in touch with your father, he never bothered to even respond to me. I was being so kind and everything to him when saying that I'd love to be back in the same home with him. But he never sent me a reply or even read my message to him.
I'm sure in his case he didn't want to read what you'd sent to him and has already blocked your number by now. My dad is a very cutthroat person after all.
I'm getting tired of going on about this, Shelly. Now let me come and live with you again. And please take great care of me as well. It was me that brought you into this world in the first place, right? So you'd better be willing to pay back the favor.
Thank you so much for giving birth to me. There you go. I just said thank you for your hard work. Can we seriously be done here now?
What the heck is that? Let me come and live with you right now.
Can you please stop trying to force your way back into my life just so that you can have my money? You just asked me to take great care of you. In other words, you only want to be around me for my money, right?
Well, when you put it that way, I suppose so. Well, you already know what I want from you, so I'll be there soon to start living with you again, please and thank you. And if you don't tell me your address soon, I'll just look it up or something. It's not that hard of a piece of information to find these days.
Huh? You really think it's a great idea to take things that far?
And if I have to pay someone to find you for me, I'll make sure you pay me for that fee when I arrive.
I've had enough of this, Brenda. Stop trying to act like things will turn out your way after trying all of that with me. What right do you even think you still have to be saying things like that to me? Seriously? You are nothing to me now besides a complete stranger. And even strangers know not to say things like that.
I am your mother, and that's why I'm talking to you this way. As far as I can tell, the man you've married seems to have the kind of money to help his mother-in-law get back on her feet and live a happy and fun life. So you can see now there's no other option besides letting me come live with you, right? You happened to land yourself a CEO for a husband? That's pretty dang amazing, considering how ugly you are. But I'm going to rekindle the love we had back in the day, so let me come and live with you in that house of yours right now.
Well, if you really want to talk about who my mother is, then you can talk with her about it, since she's sitting right next to me.
Huh?
Are you going to shut the hell up now after realizing that you aren't my mom anymore? Right now I'm living with my mom, and she is most definitely not someone like you. So what the actual frick are you going on about by saying you're my mom and everything?
Your mom? That woman is anything but your mom, Shelly. I'm not sure whether your dad got remarried or something else to force a woman like that into your life, but the only mother you have right now is me. So you treat me like your mother again and let me come live there with you.
No way.
Huh?
After you ran away and left us with your debt, Dad was able to find another woman to marry who took us both in as her own. And to me, she is my real mother, not you. I am thankful that you went through the hardship of giving birth to me, but besides that, you mean nothing more to me than any other stranger. Actually, I take that back. You mean less to me than most strangers.
And what do you mean she's with you right now? Are you actually letting her live with you?
I already told you that we're living in the same house together, but I guess you didn't bother reading that. She just moved in with us last week, and from here on out, she'll be staying with us forever. However, it doesn't really feel that way since my husband was able to build her own sub-house on the property. So really, she's living with us, but in a separate building. It's just nice having her live close to us, though, so that we know she's safe and can reach out to us whenever she needs anything. The whole family is all living together now, and all happy about it.
Is it really necessary for you to be so cold to your own mother? What the hell do you think you're saying to me?
What's wrong? Why are you getting so upset with me now after hearing something like that? Aren't you supposed to be all happy to see that I'm doing well? Or perhaps you're upset because you can't be here with all of us.
Stop saying things like that. I have every right to be upset about something like this. And I'm sure anyone else in my shoes would be as well. I'm supposed to be your mother, but you keep talking about that other woman as though she's your mom.
Really? I've told you multiple times now that you are not my mother and never will be, right? You haven't even seen me for the past 20 years now. So who the hell are you even? That's what I feel like asking you because I seriously have no clue about who you are or why you think it's okay to be talking to me like this. I bet if we met, I still wouldn't even be able to identify who you are.
Why do you keep talking more and more like that to me? Did your dad never teach you the correct way to talk to your mother? I never meant to do anything wrong to you, and I was the one who gave birth to you, so seeing you act like such a jerk to me hurts. What the hell am I supposed to do when my daughter doesn't know how to treat me right?
You only gave birth to me. 5 years after that, you then left me and were never there for me my whole life growing up. And because of you running away from me and Dad, you left Dad in a terrible position where he had to sacrifice so much to keep us afloat. He was lucky to have found someone like my mom to marry him. And since then, he's been a whole lot happier with life.
Lucky to have found someone like her? He should be lucky to have had me around to give him you as his daughter. And now I need you to be my daughter. What am I supposed to do if my own daughter doesn't want to help take care of me?
Well, let me tell you that it's not any of my business what you do.
What?
And as far as Dad being lucky to have had you, shut the hell up! All you did for him was bring a daughter into this world, but after that you left him to care for me all the time, even though he had work to focus on as well. And you did all that just so that you could go out every night and have fun on the town. And when you started to rack up some serious debt, you left it for Dad to take care of as you ran off, never to be heard from again. You never once treated me like your daughter back then, you dog. The only person you ever cared about back then was yourself, and even now you're showing me that you haven't changed one bit.
The past has nothing to do with now.
It sure the hell does, though, Brenda. My actual mom has been with me for the past 18 years and has raised me as her own without ever questioning who I was to her. And even though we don't share the same blood, I'd have to say mine looks a lot more similar to hers, instead of whatever toxic crap runs through your veins.
Do you really think she can be your mom? I bet deep down she doesn't really care for you and has only been raising you just to stay with your father. So stop trying to act as though that love is mutual, because it sure isn't.
Say whatever you'd like, Brenda, but know that the love I have for her will never go to you. And by the way, I'm not even legally your daughter anymore. I only have one mother, both legally and personally. So can we seriously be done with all of this? You can complain all you want about reality, but it's not going to change a dang thing.
The only mother you're ever going to have is me, and that's it. Now you come help me. Pay for me to have a good life in my later years.
The fact that all you care about is having me around to pay for your needs is disgusting. So disgusting that I will never, ever let you into my life.
Huh?
Even after 20 years have passed after you ran away to fix your problems, you're still struggling and that's why you came looking for me? And when you saw that I had gotten married to a man with lots of money, you thought you'd be able to come live with me? Stop freaking around, you old stupid dog. Sure, I am thankful that you gave birth to me and all that, but I don't care about you in any other way. So what though? Like, really? I'm sorry that you think giving birth to me gives you a free pass to rule over me, but it doesn't. And you didn't even stick around to raise me, so really, all you did was the bare minimum. I'm living a very happy life now with my family. So how about before you come back to me trying to join us, you first fix your own dang life, you idiot.
What kind of attitude is that? You have no right being that mean towards me.
I think my attitude towards you is warranted right now, considering you threw my dad and I away when I was only 5 years old. To be honest, I don't give a flying frick about you. But really, growing up, I did have something against you. You ruined my dad's whole life, leaving him with your debt, and that hurt me more than not having a mother for 2 years. But when my dad found his new wife, things changed for him, and he was slowly able to pay off all your debt with her help. Really, you leaving the two of us behind was the best thing for us, as we finally got to experience peace with my current mom around. So please, for the love of God, can you just leave us all alone now?
You know I can't do that. If I leave you all alone, what's going to happen to me? This is my only chance to pay off all my current debt and be completely free again.
I knew it. You really did only come looking for me because you need money. Well, too bad nobody over here cares about you anymore.
Right now, the amount of debt I'm in is way too much for only me to handle, though. No matter how hard I try and break free, I need someone like you to come and help me. So please help me, Shelly.
Are you not embarrassed to be acting like that?
Huh?
You're coming back crying to the child you threw away 20 years ago, asking for money. It's freaking embarrassing, even for me. Also, I just talked with my longtime friend about how you asked them for my number. You came back to town because you were so broke that you have been going to everyone you once knew in town asking for money. Even my longtime friend said that you went to her asking for money. But you know what? I don't care that you're doing that, just as long as you stop saying to everyone that you're my mom.
But you are my daughter, which makes me your mother.
You sure as hell aren't. Also, I just told Dad about what you've been wanting to tell him.
You told him? I'm sure he wants to get back with me as well now, right? If he is feeling that way about me, then tell him that I'm totally down with the two of us getting married again.
Hold up. What kind of fantasy is that you're thinking of? He told me to let you know that we are all much happier without you in our lives.
What? But I have the right to be happy with all of you as well, right?
You have nothing to do with us now, so what you've said makes no sense to me. Well, anyway, my dad doesn't have anything else to say to you about this, so consider him gone. And he said if you still want to talk with him about anything, to go through his lawyer.
Huh? Lawyer? Why should I go talk to his lawyer?
Well, he has been in touch with his lawyer and the police again about how you've been causing us problems, and they said that depending on what you do next, they may have to come and arrest you. So, I think this is it for you, right? It's best that you just give up and go away.
Wait a second. Why are things turning out this way? I haven't even done anything wrong, yet you want to get the law involved?
Recently, you've been sending him a lot of emails threatening him, right?
What? Threatening him? All I've been doing recently is try and get a hold of him after 20 years have passed.
Just know that if you do anything more to us after today, my dad is going to have to act and make sure you never are seen by us again. There is literally nothing else you can do now. So just stop already. You're the idiot that decided to throw away your family 2 decades ago, so you have to live with that choice now. I don't care about the life you have to live now, but it has nothing to do with us here. Now go find somewhere else to rot away, because it won't be around us, you dying dog. After that, the desperate and anxious Brenda looked frantically for Shelly's house, and when she found it, she started to make her way over there. However, when she arrived at the gated community, she was met by security, who took her into their office. And while stuck with security, the police were called and came in to fill out a report on her. She may have left my dad with a lot of debt back when she ran away from us, but it seems as though she had even more debt now after 20 years of being on the road. And it's entirely safe to say that her life is over with now. From now on, she'll no longer be able to bother Shelly and her family, as a restraining order has been placed on her. And as for all that debt she still has, the bank-in-law will be handling that part. And I have to say, when it comes to a crazy idiot like her, it's probably the best option having the law take her away. When it comes down to her, I really am thankful that she gave birth to me. But every second after my birth, I have to say that I've hated her and will never forget what she did to my dad and I.